This is a staff. 5 lines that musicians use to show the relative highness or lowness of a pitch. There are a lot more than 5 pitches, but let's start with the musical alphabet that we learned last time. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We can place this musical alphabet on a staff, progressively going up and alternating between lines and spaces. In this example, I placed A on the first space. It's also quite common to place A on the second line or second space. It's technically possible to place A on any of the lines or spaces on the staff. Clefs are symbols in music notation placed at the beginning of the staff that determine the location of pitches on that staff. There are clefs for high, middle, and low range instruments. The bass clef notates lower pitches. The alto clef notates middle pitches. And the treble clef notates higher pitches. Let's start reading with the treble clef, also known as the G clef.
Now you're all in big trouble.
As with much of Western musical notation, the treble clef began with the church's attempt to notate plain song. The treble clef is also known as the G clef because it began as a G circling the second line. It later expanded to include a D above the G to show the perfect fifth relationship. The perfect fifth is one of the most important relationships in Western music. This D and G symbol later evolved into the treble clef that we know today. To draw the treble clef, begin with a semicircle centered around the second to bottom line. Continue the circular motion, heading up towards the fourth line. Cross the fourth line and continue with a small curve above the staff. Extend this smaller curve downward, intersecting the fourth line and continuing down through the entire staff. End at the bottom with a little swirl. Now the treble clef is finished. The treble clef shows us the locations of D and G on the staff. G is circled. D is crossed through. If we know that the second to bottom line is G, count up A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and we can count down F, E, and D. Notice how we have repeated several letter names. 2 letter names that are the same, one high and one low on the staff, are an octave apart. We will learn more about this next time. Just know that as we go up, the pitches get higher, and as we go down, the pitches get lower. We can add additional lines called ledger lines above and below the staff to create room for even more notes. All of the notes shown on the treble clef can be calculated from the second line G by counting forwards or backwards in our musical alphabet. It's valuable to be able to calculate the notes on the staff with the musical alphabet, but when reading, it's important to have all of the note names memorized. If you ever took piano lessons, you might have heard your teacher say,
"No, I've got an acronym for you."
They might have said, "Every good boy does fine." "Elephants get big dirty feet." "Every Gershwin begins as a dummy first." Or they might have made up one, like "Each good burrito demands frijoles." What matters isn't specifically which acronym you choose, but that you can quickly identify which note is which on the staff. Fluency is the thing that we will practice in the homework.